Hello, kindergartners. We're going to continue listening to stories about monsters. So today we're going to read Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Where the Wild Things Are. Oh. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. Oh, look, he's got a fork and he's chasing the dog. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. There's trees coming out of his bed by the door and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through the night and day. On his boat it says Max, X. And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. Oh, and look at it's ferocious. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. So I think right here that they're frightened. Because look at this. He's like, oh. And made him king of all wild things. And now, Max cried, let the wild rumpus start. Oh, look at, they're like dancing and roaring. Oh, now what are they doing? They're swinging on branches, aren't they? Man, they're having a ball. Max is riding on top of one of them. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own bedroom, where he found his supper waiting for him. There it is, sitting on the table. And it was still hot. The end. So let's talk about our book. Who are some of our characters in our book? Remember, characters are the people or animals that our story was about. Who are our characters? Yeah, we have the wild things, and we have our character Max. And where do you think this happened? Yeah, there may be some different answers. It starts off in his bedroom, doesn't it? And then his bedroom kind of turns into a jungle. Do you think it really turned into a jungle? Do you think he really sailed across the ocean and saw the wild things and did all the stuff with the wild things and then sailed back home, back to his room? Or do you think that was his imagination? I think maybe it was his imagination. We could say the setting is his bedroom, okay? Turns into a jungle. And then I need to know, what are some of the things that happened in our story? What did he do? Yeah, well, there's lots of things he did. First, he told his mother, I'll eat you up. And then, did he get his supper? No, he had to go to his room. And then his room turns into a jungle. And then he sails away on his own private ship. And then the wild things come out. And they're terrified of him because he stares at them to their yellow eyes, doesn't blink. And then he does all kinds of things. He dances with them. He hangs with them. He rides on their shoulders. And then he says goodbye. And at the very end of our book, what happens? Hey, he's back in his room, right? Very good. All right, kindergartners, we are going to go over our sight words. So Miss Sharon's going to put them up here and we'll go through these. Then after we're done, I have a worksheet for you to do, okay? So our first word is WHO. Who? Who is it? Who? And we have WILL. Will. Will you marry me? Next we have BE. Be. Like be quiet. Then we have INTO. Into. Shoot it into the hoop. Next we have THAT. That balloon. And the last one, YOUR. Your Highness. All right, so what you're going to do today to practice is you have this upside down words, okay? So what you're going to do, there's the words we just talked about, and we practiced these words yesterday. What you're going to do is you can take this and lay it underneath your table and tape it underneath the table, or maybe you have, maybe you can get underneath your bed, but you need something that's a flat surface that you can tape it to because you're going to write your words. You're going to lay on your back and write your words while you are upside down, okay? So you don't have to turn the paper upside down. You just have to turn the paper so that it's attached to like maybe a table like this, and then you lay underneath and write like you're upside down, okay? All right, kindergartners, so we have our Wild About Colors book, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to read through, and then there's a word you're going to trace. And like this one says, can I see a little green wild thing? And then you're going to color the wild thing green, okay? And you're going to go through the whole book. This book has lots of sight words, so this will be good for you to practice, okay? All right. Have a good day. Bye.